Hello everyone, welcome to Kishore Chess Mentor. And in the last couple of videos, we have seen the part 1 and part 2 of how to attack in chess. And this video is a series of it, and it's the part 3 of how to attack in chess. In the last two videos, we have seen that there is an object to attack on the e6. Okay, so either like the bishop, that's direct blow of bishop into e6 on, it captures the pawn on e6. Otherwise, even if it was having a shield of having the knight on e5, guarding the pawn on e6. Okay, so that's the deflection that which we used to have seen in the part 2, like rook into d7 and then knight goes to d7, and then followed by knight into e6. So the third thing, okay, so today we are seeing there is no object on e6, like there is no pawn on e6, and there is no direct blow. Okay, so right now in this position, even then, okay, so there is the common indicator that which we used to see in the last two parts, that is the king being in the center. And now what happens is, in this game also, it is knight e6. So in the past two games, we used to capture the pawn on e6, and we used to start the initiative for the attack against the king, whereas here it is not the case. So knight to e6, and for knight e6, it is f into e6. So the idea behind this is, straight away as we understand, so the king being in the center is one of the major indicator to initiate the attack, and king being in the center meaning the king hasn't been castled yet. And what happens here is that the intention behind knight e6 is that the king cannot castle. Okay, and I mean there should be an answer to it. So here f into e6 and queen h5. So the king cannot castle either, and straight away queen g4. So what happens is, we are not leaving any loopholes here. That is, we are not letting the king to lose out to a7. And if given a chance, what happens is, let's say for example, if we take pawn into pawn, the king can slowly move away to c6 and to b7 and to a7, and if required to king b8 as well. And we don't have a black square bishop, I mean the dark square bishop, in order to pin the c7 and win the queen. So I mean we shouldn't let the king lose in order to run towards either ends, okay, be it let's say king side or queen side, and hence queen g4. So for knight e6, in case if you place queen d6, so what happens is knight into g7, check, king f8, knight goes back. And let's say if pawn takes knight, okay, so what happens is that the king is under tremendous attack. Let's say it can follow with say rook f1, and if king goes to g5, probably queen g4. Okay, so or else let's say for example rook to f1, and then if king goes to e8, queen h5 check, and then king goes to d5 or d7 or d8, and then pawn takes pawn, the queen is pinned. So this is the variation that which might follow after f into e6. So the king goes back to e8. So he doesn't want to open up the file, so which he will fall for the attack. So rook to f1. The idea behind this is, let's say for example, the blow on this f5. So bishop to g5 now. The idea is, I mean it's an intermediate move, and currently we cannot proceed with the attack. So what happens is we have to answer this check. So king goes to b1 and b5. Now the bishop is under attack. So there is an intermediate move that which white is playing here, that is queen h5. If you want, you can take the bishop, but I will take queen into f7, and it's going to be a checkmate. So the counter attack like white is trying to do here, and say bishop to f4. The idea behind this is, you know what, the rook is not guarding the f7. If you take queen into f7, I will take king into f7. So I mean there's a deflection after bishop f4, and now the bishop on c4 is under attack. Bishop goes back, a5. The idea behind this a5 is that it is quite evident that here black is going to push a4, and this bishop is going to get trapped. And now there are multiple options that which we can see here. Either we need to safeguard this bishop by playing a4, okay, so that is to answer this threat, okay, a sort of an active defense kind of a thing, and or g3, a counter attack kind of thing. Okay, so I'm not worried about this a4 because your bishop is still under attack, or there is knight c7, and this is the quickest among all these variations. So what happens here is queen into c7, d6. So far as we see here, this rook on d file, okay, so couldn't get much opportunity to play along this d file because the own pawn is hindering its its own attack. Okay, it cannot attack. So in order to attack, this pawn has to go somewhere else. Let's say bishop takes knight or something happens, then pawn takes the bishop. So then what happens? This d file is under attack, this f file is under attack, and I mean like it's quite evident that the king cannot go anywhere else. So black wants to hold the pawn on d5 as long as possible. So I mean like it wants to have it as a blockade, but white has other ideas. Okay, so white is saying that you have to move. Okay, the moment it got moved, pawn d6, and then queen to d7, rook into f4, pawn to f4. So the king is quite exposed right now. Queen to e5, and in case like let's say for example it's a double attack here, both the king as well as the rook are under attack. So if the king moves, it's queen into rook. Okay, so this is one of the variation here, and for knight c7, queen into c7, d6. Okay, so this variation, and in addition to this, right, there is a variation called a4. So this a4 is nothing but in order to defend the bishop. Okay, so the bishop is no longer trapped, or say g3. So the main idea here is that, okay, so white starts with the king in the center, and black needs just only one move, okay, in order to castle. Okay, so if you give black one move, I think like he's going to castle it right now. If it was black's move, I think like pretty much like he can castle, and there is no one to there is no one to stop us. And the moment it got castled, it is it is not quite an attacking chances anymore. Okay, so what happens here is that knight e6 first of all stops the king from getting castled. Okay, so in all these three variations, what happens is, say for example knight here. Okay, so knight here, pawn and 2, and then what happens here, rook to f1. Okay, so the main thing is we need to understand that we need to hold the king in the center, okay, for how long as we can, and then like meanwhile like we can initiate, let's say, opening up the files for the d file or say the f file. And the main thing which we need to note out is that either there is an object on say e6 or not. Okay, we need to have a vision of that e6, okay, capturing it with say either the knight or the bishop. And in addition to that, we need to understand that, let's say, there are attacks that which we have seen so far, and it does not guarantee that, I mean like whenever there is a position like this and you have let's say knight e6 or bishop a6 or whatever, and it is going to work in your way, it is not going to happen that way. So what we need to see is that we need to understand that in order to go for sacrifice or say an initiative or say trying to have a mating attack or something like that, we need to understand that we need to evaluate it properly. Okay, we need to see like as if like we have the enough resources. Let's say for example if the rook was not on d1 and if it was on a1, things would have been a lot different. Okay, so the piece position, okay, and its activity plays a major role in terms of attack. And today we have seen the part 3 of how to attack in chess, and in all these 3 parts, I mean it's quite evident that the king being in the center, and how we have seen like how to attack when the king is in the center. Okay, so thanks for watching the video, and if you like the video, like you can like, comment and share. If you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel, Kishore Chess Mentor. Thank you.